For those that might get annoyed or scratch their head and wonder why I do these videos after I do something, it's just another way of content, if you will. It really ain't about it, so I wouldn't look too deep into it. So, you know, fucking around earlier, I go on IBFP panel and I debate Steel Mills. And in my honest opinion, I knew that was going to happen because, you know, it's rigged because everybody over there is on some anti-Solidus stuff because everybody's trying to say that I'm racist or whatever. So they're rallying against me. But one thing that I know for a fact is when I talk, they listen to respond and argue with me. They don't listen to understand. That's pretty much how it goes over there. And then you got all these guys talking crazy on the internet. Oh, you a bitch. I'll do this, that, and the third. And it's like, it's so easy to talk shit on the internet. Like I would slap and beat the piss out of any one of them niggas over there. Talking all that bullshit. Motherfuckers dissing you for no reason. Talking that stupid shit. Solid as you a bitch. Man, I promise you, if I ever saw anybody saying that to my face, anybody on that panel saying that to my face, bro, it's a wrap, bro. Like, we just keeping it real. It's a wrap like a Saudi Arabian. It's a wrap. Bitch shit. But like I said, everybody's tough on the internet, so I can't really get mad at that. But nah, that debate, you know, I'm disappointed because I said, when it comes to speak on the Canelo not being Crawford's best win. Hold on, let me start with the Benavidez shit. When it came to the Benavidez thing, they're saying that Anthony Yard, we were debating who's a better counterpuncher. Looking back a few hours ago when that happened, that was done incorrectly. And here's what I mean by that. Originally, the guy I was debating said that Anthony Yard was a more skilled boxer than David Benavidez. He didn't say the actual words, he's a more skilled counterpuncher. He didn't say that. He said he was a more skilled boxer originally. You know what I'm saying? But then when we went to debate, he wanted to focus solely on just counterpunching. You dig? I said, okay, we can do that. So we did that, right? But now that I think about it, that wasn't done correctly. We should have just debated who's the better boxer, not necessarily who's the better counterpuncher. And I think he wanted to do that because I don't think he had no other thing he could say, because everybody in their right mind knows that Anthony Yard is not better than David Benavidez in no shape, form, or fashion. He is not a better boxer than that dude, and that includes counterpunching. Everybody kind of already knows that. Like, it was proven when they fought and even before they fought. Like, nobody is crazy enough besides him to say that he's more skilled than David Benavidez. If you put up a poll about who's better between Benavidez and Yard, it's the popular consensus is going to be Benavidez. Nobody's going to say Yard is better. Nobody's going to say that. That's just facts. Yard would be a much better boxer if he trained in the U.S. Shit, who knows? But as it stands, he is not a better boxer than Benavidez. Like, that's just not. Nobody is going to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? So to focus solely on counterpunching, that shit is cool. I'm not even mad at that. But it should have been who's just a better boxer overall. Because he said originally he's a more skilled boxer. And that's not cap. So that debate was it wasn't done correctly. You know what I mean? That was incorrectly. Possibly run it back. Who knows? Who gives a fuck? But because there's nothing that Anthony Yard does in the ring better than David Benavidez. That's not even debatable. So that was a dud. So then you look at the what I said about the Crawford and Canelo shit. I don't give a fuck. I stand on what I said. I'm going to say this shit again. I do not believe Canelo was Crawford's best win. Now, when I say that, I'm going strictly off of performance. This is what I've been saying from the start. These guys want to say that since Canelo's a 4-weight division champion, he's Hall of Fame, he's an all-time great, that it should be counted like that. I specifically said, put that to the side for the moment and let's focus on the actual performance. These niggas don't understand what I'm saying because they're arguing a different point. The way Crawford did Spence was better than the way he did Canelo. And I'm standing on that shit. Nigga, what he did to Spence and what he did to Sean Porter was better than what he did to Canelo. Now, the Canelo win, it was a great win. Don't get it fucked up. I like the Canelo win. I celebrate the Canelo win. I was happy that he beat Canelo. And it was great. He technically dominated him. He did everything better. Every time Canelo tried to hit him, he had an answer. He was hitting him with sneaky left shots, sneaky left hands that Canelo didn't see coming. You know, even had Canelo backing up a little bit, not much, but a little bit in the later rounds. Like, he did his thing. He washed Canelo. It was a great win. But it was a 12-round decision. He didn't hurt Canelo to it's like Canelo's down. He's like really fucked up. But the way he did them other niggas, Spence, Porter, he stopped them niggas. Like I said, Sean Porter was on his way to retiring and never being stopped before. He went in there and stopped that man. He banged it out with him, and then he stopped him. Then Earl Spence went into that fight. There's a little asterisk on it because of the car accident thing, but nobody gave a fuck about that till after the fight. But nonetheless, the way he did Spence was better than the way he did Canelo. So I stand on what I say. Those wins are more impressive from a performance standpoint than the Canelo win. And I'm standing on that shit. I don't give a fuck who disagreed. We can disagree, that's fine. I'm not even mad at people that disagree. But that's how I feel, and I'm standing on that shit. Them niggas over there, no disrespect, but them niggas is Canelo fans. So obviously they're going to be like, oh, well, Canelo was a you know how them niggas do. So I'm not mad at that, but the facts are the facts, bro. What he did to Spence was way more impressive than what he did to Canelo. He just went 12 rounds with Canelo and just beat him. But Spence, he fucked Spence up. He fucked Sean Porter up. Those wins are better, you dig, than what he did to Canelo. I stand on that. And then I fucked up, though. I forgot to mention this when I was debating. Terrence Crawford himself, for those that don't know, Terrence Crawford did an interview with Andre Ward after the fight. You know that little thing Andre Ward got, the Art of Ward, All the Smoke, and that show he got with Roy Jones Jr., the Hall of Game? Andre Ward did an interview with Terrence Crawford right after the fight. Like a couple of days later, I think. Terrence Crawford said himself that he doesn't think Canelo was his best win. He said that himself out of his own mouth. You go back and watch that interview, he said that himself. See, I forgot to mention that. So Terrence Crawford don't even think that Canelo was his best win. Now, it's one of his best wins. It's in his top 5. Don't get it fucked up. But is it his number 1 best win? No. He had better performances against other fighters that he beat in a more spectacular fashion than he did Canelo. That's all I'm saying. No more, no less. I'm not saying that the Canelo win is any less significant. No, it was a great win, historical, but his performance was more spectacular against Spence and them dudes than it was against Canelo. That's all. And again, these niggas listen to argue. They don't listen to understand. I feel like if they listen to understand, they would agree with me. But overall, I'm just disappointed because I'm thinking niggas know better than that. You know, I think niggas can understand. I think niggas can comprehend. And I honestly feel that niggas, if they were to listen to understand, they probably wouldn't have the type of reaction they be having and all that cap ass shit. And Still Mills, no disrespect, but he didn't really say anything that stood out. It was kind of like shit that I heard before. So, you know, it is what it is. I'll say this, though. The debate about Yard wasn't, I feel like that was done incorrectly because we should have just debated who's the flat out more skilled boxer than just who's a better counterpuncher, because a lot of niggas can counterpunch, whether it's heavier guys, smaller guys. So it shouldn't have been focused solely on that. Because again, everybody knows that David Benavidez is a more skilled fighter than Anthony Yard. That's not even to be debated. You know what I mean? So that don't hold weight to me now that I look back at it. It is what it is. But he didn't I ain't hear nothing that stood out. It was the same shit. Because I'm telling you, bro, he doesn't do nothing better than David Benavidez. That includes counterpunching. So I don't know how's he able to argue that? I don't know. But niggas is crazy. And that was pretty much it. That's all. That's really all we debated. But I knew I wasn't going to get like a good reception over there because everybody over there is on some bullshit. And like I said, them internet tough guys, niggas talking crazy on the internet, calling you out your name and all this shit. I promise you, nigga, I would beat the piss out of anybody over there saying that bullshit. Like talking to them niggas over there, I'm not confident they have the muscle memory I have when it comes to fighting. I'm not confident. Like y'all just be talking shit on the internet. Most of you niggas is fat. You probably smoke, you drink. You ain't whooping nobody's ass. Like who the fuck is you dissing? You know what I mean? Like, so you niggas is suckers, bro. It is what it is. So, but like I said, man, I ain't finna get mad about it. I ain't finna harp on that shit, man. Bitch ass niggas talking shit on the internet. I ain't finna be mad about that. You know. And this shit is sweet. But nah, I stand on what I say though, man. Crawford, those wins, in my opinion. If you disagree, that's cool. No smoke. You can disagree. But I like the way he beat up Spence than he did Canelo. I thought that was a better win. And like I said, Crawford said himself in an interview with Andre Ward that he doesn't view Canelo as his best win. He said that, and the man said it himself. So that's pretty much it. So I want to just recap that. So it is what it is. What else happened? No, that's pretty much it. Well, nobody else saying nothing like that. You said even IBFP nuke on Fight Night reaction video when he said Crawford almost stopped Canelo. I mean, he did like like in the 11th and 12th round, he hit Canelo with some shots, and you can kind of like see Canelo wobble a little bit, pause, especially in the 12th round. So that's kind of accurate what he said, but he didn't do it though. Make no mistake, the Canelo win was a great win. Don't get that, because I think they took it like I'm trying to say the Canelo win wasn't great or something. Now, it was a great win. It's just that what he did to them other guys was just he stopped those guys in better fashion than he did Canelo. He didn't stop Canelo. It's just the way he stopped those guys was better than the results he got with Canelo, you know. But make no mistake, that Canelo, that was a great win. That's a top 5 Crawford win. Make no mistake. You know, don't get that shit twisted. I'm not in no shape or form throwing any kind of shade on that. Like, nah, it's just the way he beat up Spence was more entertaining to see. And I just thought it was a better win from a winning performance standpoint. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not really trying to say nothing else. That's all. Nah, that's facts. You know, so that's all. So yeah, because these niggas put too much stock in accolades, but I'm calling cap on that though, because if it's a fighter they don't like, they won't give credit for what their accolades are. You know what I mean? Like, remember, they're talking all this high and mighty Benavidez shit now, but previously they were saying that Benavidez, who did he do that to? He always has an advantage against guys he's fighting. Now their tune is different. So, you know, so when it's a guy they don't like, they'll find a way to like say bullshit. Kind of like what you heard tonight. See, them niggas over there don't like me, so they're always going to find ways to like talk crazy and shit. And then you let suckers like Round 105, Clavo, who else? That little girl that for whatever reason was talking, I don't even know this dude, you know, shit like that. Suckers like that are always going to say some bullshit, you know. Niggas know a little details about sanctioning bodies and all that shit, and all of a sudden they know boxing and shit. That's pretty much how it works over there. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Like, Tank Davis got a better resume than Ja Apataya. They would never admit to that, though, because they don't like Tank. See, they do bias shit like that. And like I said, they know certain unknown, lesser known fighters. They know about this. So that means they know boxing. That's how they play it. But then when you really chop it with them, it's like, whatever. And like I said, I ain't got no, like I said, I'm somewhat cool right now, but I just don't, like, Steel Mills, you cannot, like, just keeping it real, bro. There's nothing Anthony Yard does better than David Benavidez, bro. Like, you go put up a poll and ask that question. Watch you sit there and look at that poll and watch everybody say Benavidez is better. He's more skilled. Like, watch that happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I promise you, bro, you don't want to do that, bro. I could have used that to win my argument instead of just wasting my time talking about counterpunching. I could have did that. Because I'm telling you, bro, nobody in their right mind is going to say what you said about Anthony Yard over Benavidez. I'm telling you, you was the only nigga saying that shit. And like I said, I knew it was a trap because I'm trying to debate and I got to argue against 4 or 5 people. Everybody coming to help you and shit. It's not one-on-one. People got to jump in and defend you and shit. Cap shit like that. So, but it's cool though. It ain't no big deal. It's nothing. To be honest with you, I ain't gonna lie. It's just really some lame ass internet shit. I'm just gonna keep it real. Like, even I'm guilty of that shit as well. I'm not even gonna lie. That's really all it is. Nobody gonna give a fuck about this shit tomorrow. I'll just keep it real with you. But I stand on what I say, bro. Whooping Spence ass the way he did was better than the way he whooped Canelo's ass. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. If you disagree, that's cool, but I'm standing on that. Are you an MMA fan? Nah, MMA is cool, but I like boxing better because in boxing, I like when you fight standing up. And in boxing, you obviously fight standing up. MMA is dope. I respect MMA. Don't want no smoke with no MMA fighters. But I don't like all that grappling and wrestling and shit. Like, I give you an example. The last MMA fight I watched was when Colby Covington fought Jorge Masvidal, right? That was the last MMA fight that I watched. I didn't like that fight because they were wrestling most of the time. And I remember the crowd was booing because of that, because they want to see niggas get punched and get kicked. That's why when it comes to MMA, the greatest MMA fight of all time was when Usman fought Covington. Because that was an actual fight. Them niggas was punching and kicking each other the whole time. No grabbing, no wrestling. It literally was just all the rounds. Just, you punch me, I punch you. You kick me, I kick you. And just back and forth. That was the best UFC fight I've ever seen. Keeping it real with you. But in general, due to all that grappling and wrestling, not to disrespect it, but I'm not liking that. I like boxing better because when you box, you fight standing up, you fighting on your feet, and that's how the fight is dictated. Not where a nigga can just grab you and wrestle you and choke you out and shit. Like, I don't really like all that. And then you said, wait, it's Steel Mills. Yeah, and I like and then, of course, boxing got the fundamentals, the science to it. You know what I mean? Hand speed, all that smart shit, IQ, because boxing is mental, right? You got to have your mental got to be on point. And boxing plays into that. So, yeah, I also like fundamentals. You said, wait, is Steel Mills still debating Anthony Yard better than David Benavidez? And Benavidez knocked him out? Nah, we were talking about that, but he kind of like switched it up. He wanted to focus solely on counterpunching instead of just overall who's a more skilled boxer. You dig? So I went along with that. And I was like, okay, yeah, we can do that. But we should have just debated who's the more skilled boxer, because his original statement was Anthony Yard is the more skilled boxer. That's what he originally said. And that's what got me wanting to get at him. Because I'm telling you right now, bro, there's nothing Anthony Yard does better than David Benavidez. Nothing. He does not do nothing better than David Benavidez. You can't, in my opinion, you can't be a great counterpuncher, but then your counterpuncher is not sustainable and it's not effective. You're gassing out and then your counterpunching is not really doing nothing. Now you're getting hit and getting your ass whooped. Like, nah, I'd rather give a nigga that doesn't have issues with unsustainable counterpunching where he can just go a whole fight being able to counterpunch. Anthony Yard doesn't do that. You know what I mean? And I know the difference between exchanging and counterpunching. The point I'm trying to make is the way Benavidez uses his pressure to walk you down, and then while he's landing on you, he'll slip in counterpunches. He does that better than Anthony Yard. That makes his counterpunching more effective. He's not seeing that. Steel Mills doesn't agree with that. And the rest of the panel don't agree with that. So we didn't we didn't agree on that. Because again, just go back and watch the Yard and Benavidez fight. You'll see what I'm saying. When he had him on the ropes, he was exchanging with him, but he'll also slip in a couple of counters, and he was hitting Yard. He does that better than Yard does. Yard tries to move, He's not as mobile as a fighter to move like that and tries to counterpunch. Like he doesn't really fight like that. But that's what he tried and it didn't work. So it's the way Benavidez does his counterpunching that makes it more effective. But they don't agree with that though. They feel differently. So we disagreed. But I'm actually watching these fights. I'm literally telling you what I see in the fights. But somehow they know more. You know, in their world, somehow they know better. You know, whatever the fuck that means, right? Exactly. That's the same thing I said. All Anthony Yard has is he's a strong dude. He's strong. That's it. He's a strong dude, rough and tough guy. That's it. That's literally all he has. He's very strong. He's a strong dude. If he hits you, okay, yeah, he got some pop. Like any other fighter that hits you correct. Any other fighter that correctly punches you can get some pop on you. But he is not skilled like no, not better than Benavidez. That's just cap, bro. And that's what started all this. And see, Still Mills, he's willing to die on that hill. Like he's willing to die on that hill that Anthony Yard is more skilled than Benavidez. He's willing to die on that hill. So let that motherfucker die then. Because like I said, you put up a poll right now and ask anybody who knows back boxing. Nobody is going to say Anthony Yard is more skilled than David Benavidez. Not even people in the UK would say that. I'm telling you. That's why I'm low-key disappointed that they took Still Mill's side and went against me. But I'm telling you, bro, nobody is going to say he's more skilled than David Benavidez. And that includes counterpunching. He's not. That's all Benavidez, bro. That's all Benavidez. So it is what it is, man. So let these niggas, so like I said, these niggas can say what they want. They can talk all that bullshit. Let them niggas die on that hill. If they want to do that shit, let them do that shit. I'll just stay alive. Fuck it. Just let them do that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this, that debate wasn't done correctly. I'll say that. Yeah. Why did Anthony Yard counterpunch Benavidez did? He tried to, but Benavidez had a game plan for that shit. And got his ass knocked out. And then, yeah, you're right. He did say that, you're right. I do remember him saying that. He did say Benavidez wouldn't KO Yard. He didn't say that. He did say that. That's a fact. He did say that. He did say that. Yeah. Yeah. So he did say that shit. He did say that that Anthony Yard that Benavidez wouldn't be able to KO Anthony Yard. You said he also said Brian Norman was a pressure fighter. Yeah. Yeah, he did say that. Yeah, like I said, man. Like I said, those guys over there, they just feel differently. I'll say that. They just feel the IBFP panel, just a different type of boxing fans. Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I talk to other people that are into boxing, and the conversations are much different. The things they say is much different than what those guys say. So that's just a different audience over there. You know, they got a different program over there. You know, from IBF, because the shit they do over there and what they say over there and what they believe over there, you don't hear that nowhere else. It's only on their panel. You said Benavidez is too skilled for Yard. Exactly. I don't know what the fuck Still Mills is talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. Just keeping it real. Like, that nigga tripping, bro. He's tripping. And everybody on the panel that was defending him, saying he won or he's right or whatever, they tripping, bro. I don't know what the fuck is up with them. That should have never came out his mouth, bro. That just let me know, like, niggas it's just different, bro. It's just a different They're just different type of boxing fans. I'm not even going to say they're bad. I'm not even going to say shit like that. They're just different, bro. You don't hear the type of shit they say anywhere else in a boxing circle. Go talk to other people that know boxing and then come back to IBFP. Watch you notice the difference. Like, yeah, these niggas is bonkers over here. I might have to go fuck with these other niggas talking about boxing. These niggas over here, they saying all type of crazy shit. I'm telling you, it's different. It's different over there. For real, it's different over there. I'll give IBF a little credit. He say some, you already know he said some stupid shit before, and he's good at manipulating them too. So yeah, because they treat that nigga like he's their dad and shit. Not to disrespect, but I'm just saying the way they react to him and respond to him, you would think IBF was their fucking dad. Like, damn. Yeah, some nigga on the internet who won't even let y'all know what he looked like. Like, the fuck? It is what it is. But nah, IBF, he be saying some good shit, though. I ain't gonna cap. Some shit is okay. Not all, but he said some shit that I agree with. So I ain't gonna say all that, but it's also some bullshit with him, too. Just like anybody else. Like I said, a lot of people don't agree with how I feel about the Crawford shit, but I stand on what I said. I ain't switching. What he did to Spence was more impressive than what he did to Canelo. I'm standing on that. People disagree. That's cool. So I include myself as well. So I include myself as well. But yeah, that's what happened, man. You know. I would say IBFP channel, they were a Canelo fanboy channel, but now he kind of lost since Canelo lost. That's facts. That's facts. You know, it's funny you say that because people that view his content know that, but they're not going to say it. But everybody knows that because prior to today, I might still do it, but I was actually going to go on a hiatus from that channel because every time I go on there, it's the same shit over and over again. They're going to argue about Benavidez. They're going to lose track of time. And the next thing you know, the conversation lasts an hour. They're going to crack jokes over and over again. Everybody's coming on the panel talking shit. They're ganging up on people. You get into it with this person, and then two other people come to that person's defense. Now you're arguing with three people. You're yelling. For whatever strange reason, people love saying homosexual rhetoric. You know what I mean? You know, that seems to be the number one theme over there. You got guys like Clavo saying things that a man shouldn't be saying when it comes to like that type of stuff. He'll do it anyways. And yeah, and then it's like, they're kind of like not really they're trying to avoid talking about Canelo because of what happened, because he got beat. And it's like, that is true. Like, you're right. Ever since Canelo lost, what they talk about is kind of, it's the same thing over and over again. You know, so that is true. Because if you listen to today's show when I was on there, outside of the debate me and Mills had, they weren't really talking about shit. You know, shit that you heard before. You know what I mean? Like, we covered this topic before. Here we go again. Let me guess, Benavidez, same shit again. People got the same sentences they said in the last live. They're saying it again. So that's true. That's true. You know. You know what I mean? Putting out rage bait videos and then trying to play it off like you're not, like people are stupid and they can't see what you're doing. So that's true. So yeah, that's true. I would say that. Like I said, the only reason why I came back to the panel or whatever is because I just liked how, as a Canelo fan, he was able to be honest about Canelo. Because most Canelo fans were lying. They were trying to find loopholes to like justify him losing to Crawford instead of just being honest, saying he lost to the better fighter. He was one of the few Canelo fans that didn't do that, and I respected that. That's the only reason why I so-called squashed the beef with him. Other than that, I probably wouldn't even be back on the panel. Because when you actually listen, it's no disrespect, but it's like most of that shit is boring. It's the same shit. It's just niggas saying, it's either niggas saying gay jokes or niggas arguing about David Benavidez. That's pretty much all it is. You got cowards coming on there calling you out your name. knowing damn well they'll get smacked the fuck up in real life. You know, you got motherfuckers that's fat and shit, but they got a lot of shit. They got a lot of bullshit to say. Like fat, unhealthy looking motherfuckers, but they want to talk shit about somebody else. Like, you know, shit like that. You know what I mean? You can't even debate somebody one-on-one without people jumping in to defend the person they like. So it's like, you know, a lot of sucker shit goes on over there. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's pretty much what it is. Niggas over there on that panel, some people over there, they swear they don't like me and they swear I'm racist, but yet they binge watch my content. I'm not gonna say no names. They binge watch my content, but they swear up and down I'm a racist. I hate black women. They say these things about me, right? But yet they binge watch my content. You know, shit like that. They do bullshit like that. Yeah. Yeah, that could be true. You said, I think Nuke was just asking for mercy after Canelo lost for talking crazy and glazing Canelo. That's why he glazes Crawford now. Shit, probably. That's probably true. But you said something, though. You right, though. Like, you're right. Ever since Canelo lost, it's been kind of, his content's been kind of weird. That is true. It's like if he doesn't rage bait or put out bullshit, because again, the majority of the people that view his, because I'm gonna say something that, not to bring, I'm just gonna keep it real. The majority of people that watch his content is Latinos. I'm gonna keep it real. Don't know real niggas listen to IBFP. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Don't know real black motherfuckers that's you know, not to be racist, but I'm gonna keep it real. Don't know real black motherfuckers that's real niggas listen to IBFP. The main people that view his content and listen to his content is Hispanics, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm telling you, ain't no real niggas listening to IBFP, bro. I'm telling you. That's just facts. Yeah, that I'm just keeping it real. I already checked his analytics. It's mostly Hispanics, bro. That's like 90% of his fan base. There's probably like a small percentage of black people that listen to that shit. Very small percentage. Like you go outside of Steel Mills, Brim, Ashy Knuckles, and Park Street, you go outside of them, there's not many niggas consuming his product, his content. It's mostly Hispanics. You know? Don't know real niggas jam to IBFE. Like, nah, that's not what it is. It's mostly Hispanics that check that shit out. You're not gonna find a bunch of black people saying, hey, IBFP's on, let me listen to that shit. No. That's just facts. Yeah, when I get it, I'll let you know. I got you. And that's just facts. Don't nobody listen to that nigga like that. Yeah. And that's just real. Nobody listens to that shit. You know? Yeah, I only listen to black people on YouTube and probably a few little oddballs that say some real stuff. Nah, I dig that. I dig that. I dig that. Yeah. I dig that. That's real. You ever heard of BFTB boxing channel? He's good too. Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah. The dude that always wear the hat. We cussing motherfuckers out in the chat. Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah. Yeah. BFTB is cool. I don't, yeah, he's straight for what he does. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you brought up BDA BDA and IBF are very similar. It's mostly a Latino audience that frequents them, and yeah, not many black people check that shit out. It's kind of the same. They're kind of like the same type of content creators. They kind of like do the same thing. Yeah. But one thing I'll say, like I said, I'm gonna stand on this, and I know this because I witnessed it. If you talk to other people outside of the IBF panel about boxing, the crazy shit them IBFP niggas is be saying, you're not going to hear that from nobody else. Like if you go on BFTB's panel and you try to do that IBFP shit, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You know what I mean? It's not going to work. Same thing with KO. You go on his panel and you talk that silly IBFP shit, it's not going to work. You know what I mean? Everybody got their own lane. I just think that the IBFP, they're just different over there. You know? Because what I believe is if they don't like you, they're never going to listen to understand what you're saying. They're just going to listen so they can argue with you. Kind of like what a bitch would do. You know how a bitch is mad at you? She ain't trying to hear nothing. She just want to argue. So you'll try to reason with her and she ain't fucking with it. You know, even though what you're saying makes sense, they ain't doing it. That's how they act over there. You know? So when I talk, they listening to arguing. They're not listening to understand me because they're mad about so-called me being racist. So I have to be apologetic to the Mexicans over there because they believe I'm racist. That's how they act. But that's not even necessary because nobody really flat out said anything racist like that. I was just calling out some bullshit that I saw fit that came from their side, but it wasn't necessarily me being racist, but they want to believe that dumb shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's pretty much what it is. That's why I knew doing this debate was actually a bad idea because I knew that was going to happen. Because we could have been talking about anything. It didn't even have to be about Canelo or David Benavidez. They still would have got on bullshit with me. So, and that's just how they move over there. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. But them niggas listen to argue. They don't listen to understand. They act like girls over there. You said Spence should have had better sense. He was not in health or prepared to fight. His trainer and corner should have known better. Yeah, Spence got smoked. He basically retired Earl Spence. Spence ain't fought since and probably won't fight again. Because you feel like he would have did it by now. You know, he retired Sean Porter. Well, nah, he didn't retire Sean Porter because he already had a plan he was going to retire after that fight. But like I said, man, I respect everybody's opinion. I know a lot of people disagree with me. I just honestly feel what Crawford did to Spence was just more impressive and a better win based off the way he beat him was better than what he did to Canelo. I just really feel that. You know, I understand Canelo is a better champion than Spence. That's fine. But I'm putting that to the side for now. Just what Crawford did to that man was better than what he did to Canelo. And if it's better and you win doing something better, it can be a better win. And I really stand on that. I know people going to disagree. That's cool. I mean, that's what dialogue is for. People can disagree. Just really stand on that. I really do. You know, the way he was dropping Spence, hitting him with them sneaky counters, that right counter he hit Spence with when Spence tried to close in on him. Like, man, that shit was beautiful. Like, just classic boxing takedown. I just like that better than what he did to Canelo. That's just me. It is what it is. But everything is circumstantial with them. They're saying, oh, well, since Canelo, like I said, he's this, that, and the third is better. But it's not what he did. But I'm going off what he did. You know. And like I said, I just stand on that. Yeah, Porter was a good fighter. You know, he not saying he was the best or anything like that. I believe Canelo was a better fighter than Porter. But Porter was rough and tough. He fought everybody. He gave everybody a tough fight. Even when he lost, it was still a tough fight. He never been stopped before. You never seen nobody bang with Porter and then stop him. That's never happened until he fought Crawford. So that was a great win for Crawford, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because that ain't never happened to him before. And he fought pretty much everybody in his weight class. And when 147 was lit, he fought everybody. You know, so that's all. So Porter was cool. You know, I'm not necessarily tripping off of the level of the fighter. It's just the way he dealt with them. You know, and I just feel like Crawford dealt with those guys better than the way he dealt with Canelo. I don't think that's hard to understand. I think people are just looking at it like from a circumstantial perspective. Like, oh, well, it's more historical because of what he did, because of what Canelo brought to the table. And I'm not mad at that, but I'm just saying that the performance was just better. I just liked the way Crawford did Spence over how he did Canelo. Pause. That's all it is. If people think I'm wrong on that, then it is what it is. But I'm standing on that. You know, but like I said, 3 different fucking times by now, the Canelo win is the top 5 win for him. It's in his top 5. That's what. Let me say this. Let's say they do the rematch. Let's say Crawford and Canelo rematch. Let's say this rematch actually happens. And he goes in there and he stops Canelo this time. He actually stops him. He knocks his ass out, knocks him down, and he wins that way. Then I'll come out here and say, okay, that was probably his best win. Yeah, then I'll say then I'll be like, okay, yeah, he stopped Canelo. Okay, bet. I'll say that. You know, because I asked him on the panel, what do you think is better, stopping somebody or just winning the 12-round fight? Both are valid wins. No criticism for either, but what you think is a better win? It was loud, so you probably couldn't hear it, but they said the stoppage, or one person did. So that's all. Yeah, Majimov did better. Yeah, exactly. He gave Crawford a better fight than Canelo. That's a fact. He had to dig in his bag to beat Majimov. He didn't really have to dig too much in his bag to beat Canelo. Just stick to the basics, dominate this guy. He had to really dig deep to beat Majimov. Majimov was on his ass. Pause. You feel me? So that was a more impressive fight. Or impressive win, if you will. Damn, I've been on this motherfucker for 40 minutes? Damn. My black ass losing track of time. I did not want to be on here this long. I might have to split this video in half. I don't know if I want to let the full 40 minutes drop because I did not intend to be on here this long. Shit. Bitch ass nigga said the Timberwolves suck. Nigga, the Timberwolves went to back-to-back Western Conference Finals. Fuck out of here. I forgot who said that on the panel. That whole ass shit out of here. Cause I know this is a boxing panel and shit, so I understand that. I know these niggas don't want to talk basketball. I need to start doing some basketball content. That's what I need to start doing. Fuck talking about just boxing when it comes to sports. Talk about basketball. Because I know niggas don't want to talk basketball. I know niggas don't want to do that. One of them bitch ass niggas said, fuck the Timberwolves. Nigga, they went to back-to-back Western Conference Finals. Nigga, you don't say fuck no team that go to back-to-back Western Conference Finals. The fuck? Nigga, how many teams can beat Denver in a 7-game series? Fuck out of here. In a game 7. Fuck out of here with that shit. Timberwolves did that shit, nigga. Don't forget that shit. Ant-Man, nigga. You saying fuck the Timberwolves, eat a dick. Basketball ain't the same how it used to be. It's still good. The only thing I see wrong with it is the officiating is weird now. They're letting niggas flop and get fit. You know that flopping shit, niggas foul baiting, all that weird shit, niggas over exaggerating contact to get fouls and all that bullshit. If they didn't do that, then you wouldn't be able to say that. But yeah, because I feel that too. Like, niggas be flopping, trying to get fouls and shit and all that bullshit. Like, man, get the fuck out of here. You know, like that shit Luka and the shit SGA was doing last year and that shit Austin Reeves be doing. I'm gonna have to do a basketball live. I'm gonna do a basketball live. I feel like niggas will fuck with that. Cause y'all probably, to be honest with y'all probably tired of hearing me come out here and talk about boxing because, you know, y'all probably tired of hearing that shit, to be honest with you, to be honest. I'm going to come back and do a basketball one. Next one is going to be about basketball. Yeah. NBA. I think niggas will fuck with that. Because when I do my videos talking about black people shit, black women, I like to make myself visible for those videos. Because that's how real I am about that shit. But when it comes to like doing lives or whatever, I'll do it like this. But yeah, we want to come back and do an NBA one. The Eagles, shit, I ain't really, I mean, I think the Eagles would be cool. I mean, what, they 8-5? They'll probably still make the playoffs if they don't lose out. But I think they're going to win their next games. But I don't think they're that bad. I mean, they had that loss, you know, that interception Jalen Hurts threw. That was unfortunate. But I think the Eagles is all right. My Vikings shit, we down this year. We didn't have, because you know in the NFL you're not winning if you don't have great. If your quarterback play is not great, you're not winning. That's just how the NFL works. And my Vikings this year just didn't have the great quarterback play. We basically got a rookie quarterback. He missed 5 straight weeks. Got hurt the 3rd week of September. Didn't play all of October. Came back and went middle of November. So he barely played this year. He only played like 7 games. So it's like, nigga, you ain't winning in the NFL with a quarterback that ain't giving you high quality production. That ain't happening. Like, that is not happening. You are not winning in the NFL if you're not getting that. Why do you think the Bears is good this year? Chi-Town. Because Caleb Williams is playing really good this year. They're getting great quarterback play. Caleb Williams been balling this year. That motherfucking can run. He's throwing touchdowns. Like, yeah, the Bears, they doing their thing this year. Chi-Town. Chi-Town back up in this bitch. So, yeah. But, yeah, my Vikings, we down this year. Just got to look forward to next year. I don't think they're going to trade Justin Jefferson, but shit, they have another bad year like this shit. He might. Because he's still young. It's not like he's 30-something, so he might step off if they fuck up again. But we'll see. But, yeah. So I'm a Vikings fan, but yeah, I mean, if we went out, we might be able to get a wild card spot, but that's so unlikely to happen. So yeah, this year is pretty much a wrap. Keeping it real with you. Just like this live is a wrap. I'm gonna let y'all go. Appreciate y'all for getting in the comment section. I'm gonna hit y'all back with another one in a little bit. I'll get back.